Hello. Before we begin, I just want to put up this disclaimer real quick. Disclaimer, we are going to have differing opinions. It's going to happen. We're all human beings. We're not a bunch of sheep. We do not bow down to any mouse. We don't bow down to anybody. And we're going to have differing opinions. Like, I could say I like something, and then another person can like something that I don't like. But that's okay. You want to know why? Because we're human. But if you guys don't like it, get over it, you crybabies.
Yep.
But with that being said, hello everybody. Welcome to ShadowEye, the show that no one asked for to return, but I brought it back anyway. Hello everybody. Today we are going to be reviewing the first 2 seasons of The Office because the first season is way too goddamn short. Trust me, next episode we will definitely be talking about only 1 season. But I figured we could combine the first 2 seasons together because they are technically one whole season, if you want to be technical about it. But let me introduce my guest, the man who just finished The Office for the first time, Ninjoid243.
Hello there, everyone. How is everyone doing today?
Now, before we begin, Ninjoid, where can they find you at?
You can personally find me on my own YouTube channel, Ninjoid243, where we do lots of fun stuff. We also bullshit around sometimes on there. We have many shows over there, Galactic Chat. This upcoming one, we will be reviewing the season finale of The Mandalorian. We will be having a fun time over there, discussing that, and also theories for the next season of The Mandalorian, as well as my new Marvel and DC show called Superhero Talk Hour, where we will be discussing about Marvel and DC. That show will actually be happening every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure that you go check that out as well. And as well as the first season of Riverdale will be reviewed possibly by next Sunday or Saturday. And that's all, really.
Very nice. You guys can find me on Twitter at theaustinator17. If you guys ever want to message me on Twitter, just look me up there at Austinator17. Also, I have a Discord, so if you guys ever want to message me there, just look me up at the Austinator. And also, you guys can find me on my channel, The Austinator, where I originally hit over 100 subscribers, then YouTube screwed me over. So if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Because I do want to hit 100 for the second time. A lot of people said that you can't hit 100 a second time. Well, here we go. We're gonna do it again. I'm starting to go back to a normal schedule this week. This Sundays will be ShadowEye, where we will be for right now we're gonna be reviewing The Office. Thursdays, Splash Talk will be coming back, and because Splash Talk is our fan fiction show, this week we're going to be reading some Harry Potter fan fiction. And on Fridays or Saturdays, my wrestling show, Good Old Wrestling, will be coming back. And that episode will be me reviewing me and Deshaun will be reviewing Survivor Series 2020 and NXT TakeOver War Games. And also, I will be doing God of War gaming streams throughout the week. So please go check that out. Also, you can also find me sometimes on Sundays on the Real Review 3000 Chris Knight's channel, where either as part of the weekly wrap-up or the Mandalorian Roundtable. And you guys can also find me sometimes there as part of the weekly Rumble. And you can sometimes find me on Mondays on JJ's channel, where I'm sometimes part of Randomness at its Finest, so go check him out. Also, sometimes you can find me backstage on LDG's Pixels channel, or Pixelate. I put all their channels down there in the description as well. I also put Big Afford Entertainment Onzo's channel, where I'm sometimes there when they do their game streams and watch Onzo and JJ have a really competitive, fair fight. And I also have 2 new descriptions in my description box. I have the Big O Show and Poe's channels down there because Poe started doing some uploads there, so go check out his couple of his videos. And the Big O Show is trying to get up to 50, so let's get him up there, guys.
Yep.
Now, with that long ass intro out of the way, let's talk The Office. Now, first, I want to talk about. Just give me one quick second here. Let's talk about The Office Season 1.
Ooh, yes.
So this was your first season that you watched. So I want to get your initial thoughts on the season. What did you think of it?
So when I went into this, the first episode, I watched the first 2 minutes of it. Of the first episode. And number one, I was like, why the hell is the camera shaking so much? And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I think I won't like this show. But then I'm like, I'm sorry, I think Austin is lying how good this show is. And then I'm like, then I was super bored like the next day. I think it was after Galactic Chat even. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to put it on. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Then I sat through, I'm like, oh my God, this is actually a really good show. So then I just continued watching it. I binge watched the entire season 1 in one day just because of how short it was. And I did not even know I was already on season 2. I'm going to be honest with you. And I think I stopped like binge watching first around like season 2, episode 6. That's how far I got in one day. So pretty good.
Yeah, that is really good. So I got introduced to The Office by my friend in high school. She is a huge fan of the show. When I mean huge fan, she's a huge fan. And at first, like, everybody liked the show. Like, my friends over there just love the show. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to see what all the fuss is about. And to tell you the truth, when I watched that first season, I was kind of like, I don't know if I would necessarily, because again, I'm going to talk about season 1 more in detail once we get to that part. But I will say season 1, you can tell there is a very huge difference from season 1 to season 2 in terms of its like structuring and then just characters.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I consider season 1 of The Office to be more like the test run, and then season 2 is like the real first season.
I actually agree with that because there are plenty of mistakes in the first season. Like the camera stuff is actually a little bit off on normal.
And I would say it's just, and I would also say characters as well.
Yeah.
Because there are characters that when you watch this season compared to season 2, the characters are at times not as likable.
The only likable characters in season 1 are Jim and Pam, I guess. Like Dwight too, in a way, but like Stanley is nothing in season 1. Daryl is nothing in season 1. You know.
It to me, but we will get into that. But first, let's get into let's just give like the overview of the season.
Okay.
Season 1 is 6 episodes, and The Office season 1 does introduce us to our leading characters. You have your main character, Michael Scott, or one of the main characters. Who's Michael Scott? If no one really knows, if you haven't watched The Office, Michael Scott is the regional manager of Dunder Mifflin, a paper company, and this season is basically establishing that they're making a documentary about Dunder Mifflin, or specifically the Scranton branch.
Yep.
And we're introduced to Michael very early on, and I'm going to be completely honest, Michael is not really Michael in this season.
That too. I will also agree with that.
because
Michael acted a lot more like a jerk in this season, not gonna lie.
Because this season was trying to go for more of the UK office, which is what I think the show is originally going to be. But I think because this season is very lackluster, I think they had to change it up. And I'm glad they did, because I think the UK office is good for what that is. But I don't think it worked for this season.
Yeah.
And also, we are introduced to Jim. He's a salesman. And we're also introduced to Dwight, who will later learn to know him as the assistant to the regional manager. And,
Yes.
I think we get an immediate prank, which is iconic, with the stapler in the Jell-O.
Yes, that was fantastic during the first episode.
And we're just introduced to a whole ton of characters. We're introduced to Pam. She is the receptionist, and we later learn that Jim has a massive crush on her, and he's best friends with her. And actually, this is the season where Ryan actually is first introduced.
Be right back.
Okay. Emma's like, The Office, blah. Oh, really? I mean, I recommend if you only watch the first season, Emma, I definitely recommend maybe watching season 2 as well, because season 2 is a whole lot better. What's up, EJ? How's it going? Excuse me.
Okay.
So now next, let's talk about we'll kind of go into characters as well. Also, and like you said before, a lot of the characters are basically empty. Like, Stanley really is not Stanley here. Phyllis is not really Phyllis. Like, we're introduced to all these characters, but once again, because they're trying to go for more of the how would I say it? The UK office, like, it feels more like a carbon copy at points.
It just feels bland.
Yeah.
To be honest. That's really all I have to say. This season was bland. It was still funny at times and all that. It was just a little bit bland, though, with the characters. That's it.
I would agree with that.
Because it's like, it's good still. I'm not going to lie. It's still good. Just not as good as season 2. And, well, it's better than season 8 and 9. Season 1. But, you know.
Hey, Deshaun Kavari, how you guys doing? I agree with that. I think that just judging based off of all of that, yeah, I 100% agree with you. I personally, it is bland. I will go ahead and say that as a huge Office fan, the season 1 is probably one of the weaker seasons, because compared to the others, like, this one feels more like the middle child in a way, because this is not the Office.
It's like, yeah, it's the middle child, or it's just the middle season. It's not great. It's not fantastic. It's not great, but it's not bad, and it's not terrible. It's just in the middle for me, just because it's bland.
Yeah. Now let's go into Jim and Pam's arc in this season. So Jim already establishes in this season that he has a huge crush on Pam, but Pam is engaged to Roy. Now, none of this is really, I guess, expanded or like really developed until next season. So there's really not a whole lot to talk about, because this season basically establishes very early on that Jim and Pam are best friends. They like to prank Dwight and all of that, but they don't necessarily go, and it's like they're not a lot is developed. And I believe the last episode of the season, Jim and Kathy, played by Amy Adams, started a date. So I guess in a way it does kind of develop, but at the same time it doesn't.
Yeah, I actually completely forgot about his girlfriend at the end, or whatever her name was. Um, but I will say we did get a little bit of development. Do you remember the basketball episode?
Yes.
Episode 5? We did get some development in that. I will say, with Roy versus Jim, and everyone like Daryl and all of that. We saw Pam smile and all of that. It's small development, but you understand where they're gonna go.
Yeah. I do actually agree with that. So the arc really isn't developed that much. Now let's get into favorite episode of the season.
Ooh, okay. The basketball one for me.
I'm actually going to be completely honest. I actually think Diversity Day might be my favorite episode. But, however, though, Diversity Day does not age well.
Oh, Diversity Day. Yeah, it doesn't age well that much.
But it is still a funny ass episode, though.
Yeah.
But the basketball game is my number 2.
The Alliance was another good one. Not gonna lie. Where Jim mailed Dwight. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that was good
that was
stuff.
a great episode. That was a great episode also.
And then I would say my least favorite episode was actually the pilot.
I agree with that, just because mostly because the camera was shaking half of the time. I'm sorry, I'm still on that. The camera was shaking so terribly in that episode. But you know what? I understood why, because it's the documentary's first day.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go too far into season 1 because, like I said, there's not a whole lot to talk about. So I guess I want to ask you your final thoughts on season 1.
My final thoughts on season 1 was that it was a good season, but it was not the best. I would give it maybe a 7, 6.5 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 7. I think that, like I said, despite Diversity Day, The Alliance, and Basketball being the 3 best episodes of the season, I found this season to be kind of weak compared to the other seasons. It's not as bad as season 8 and season 9, mind you, but it is definitely very weak.
Yes.
It doesn't help that there's 6 episodes. It doesn't help that the characters aren't really their characters. And it especially really does not help when it's just overall bland.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't really have a flavor to it.
Mm-hmm. And Michael was not Michael that we love.
Yeah. So I would say overall, it was okay. Like, it's watchable, but I think for a lot of people, they probably watched the first episode and went, oh yeah, this is not for me. I definitely recommend, if you have not finished it, to watch more of it.
That's how I was. I did not like the first episode that much. And here's the thing though. Did it capture me? Like, you know how shows are supposed to capture you within the first episode? Intrigue you, basically?
Yeah.
Did it intrigue me? Most of it, no. The only thing that I was intrigued by in the first episode was Jim and Pam. I just wanted to see if they would go back together, come together. And then I watched Diversity Day. I was like, you know what? This is actually starting to be an okay show. And then when I get further on, I'm like, this is not fantastic, but this is a great show.
So I feel like for season 2, I feel like we gotta go through each episode and then give our thoughts on just the episode, because I feel like with season 1 there really isn't a lot to talk about, and I basically just told everybody what season 1 was, all 6 episodes in 20 minutes. Whereas with season 2, there's so much to unpack that I want to get into.
Because this is The Office. This is like the first actual season 2. Because come on, we have the Dundies as the first episode.
Now, before we get into that, The Office season 2, I want to get your initial thoughts on season 2.
Okay, this is my favorite season.
It's your favorite season.
Tell you so. Yeah, it is my favorite season. It's either this one or season. It's either season 2, 3, or 4. To me, those are the top 3 best seasons of The Office, and that is what The Office is.
Yeah, I would actually say this is my 3rd favorite season, followed by 3 and 4. Spoiler alert to anybody who's, this is the anime twist. I think this season to me was definitely very well done compared to season 1. And I would say it's even better than season 5 and season 6 and season 7.
Yeah.
Like, this is where the show really started to really go above and beyond in a way.
Yes. And also intrigued me. Something that season 1 really did not do entirely.
And I would say that this is actually a different type of show, because usually a comedy like Friends or Big Bang Theory, they always either have a laugh track or a live audience doing like the laughing and stuff. But with The Office, if it's more in a documentary style where you're having the interviews in between, I actually like that because it is a very creative concept that they don't really do. It's like, that's something I kind of want to see more of, but at the same time, The Office did it so well that I really don't want to see it elsewhere. But instead of doing the overview, let's just go into each episode. Let's talk about the first episode, your first episode of season 2, the Dundies. This was the first Dundies that they did in The Office.
Okay, the Dundies. I really did enjoy the Dundies. Just the whole award show was very well done, and also I like the character development that we got with Jim and Pam. All right, significant character development. All right, significant. All right, because I guess some people could say that getting someone drunk shows them, like their true selves. I'm just gonna say that. And guess what? We saw some how should I word it, Austin?
Jim and Pam kiss.
Yeah, we'll just say that. They kissed. Also, like we had a lot of character development with these two characters in this episode. Also, I love how Pam was in the entire episode. I thought it was funny as shit. I really did enjoy Jim's character. Also, I like that no one really cared for the Dundies, and then just Pam decide, you know what? Yeah, we do care about the Dundies, just to make Michael feel better. And this was the first episode that Michael actually acted like his character moving
and
forward.
I would say this episode really made me like Michael as a character, because like, he's an idiot. Let's just be honest. Michael's a fucking moron when it comes to running the office.
Yep.
But he's also someone who cares. Like, he cares. Like, he just wants to, he's doing something nice for his employees, and people are being dicks to him, and also that's one of the most underrated things about The Office sometimes is Pam and Michael's relationship.
Pam and Michael, yes.
Because their friendship is kind of, they don't really talk about it, because when it comes to Michael, like, they more so talk about his love life, or like his, like, I guess, his co-manager things with Jim and Dwight, but Pam is never really like their friendship was very heartwarming, and especially in season 3, where I feel like there's that one scene in the art gallery that really just it actually is what this show does is well as too is that it does hit you emotionally, and they do it very, very well.
Yep.
And this episode, while it doesn't necessarily do that, I still got that little emotional thing where it's like Pam was just doing it to be kind to Michael.
Yeah, exactly.
Like all of that is just it's heartwarming. Like it's not like season 3 where they're at the art gallery. Like it's not anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think for what it was, it was a very heartwarming thing.
Yeah, I do agree with that fully.
Next up is sexual harassment, episode 2. Now, I believe this was the famous Michael Scott Toby scene where Michael was like, Toby works for corporate, so that means he's not part of our family. He also got a divorce, so that means he's not a part of his family.
Also, his sexual jokes, and then, do you remember Jim was like, "That's what she said." Don't make me say it. Don't make me say it.
And then Michael said, "That's what she said." And this episode was more for the comedy.
Yeah,
and I loved it.
I loved it. Yes, exactly. That's what she said.
A famous line that he said that actually ends up becoming one of the last things he's actually ever said in the show.
That's what she said. The legendary quote of the day.
I mean, that was depressing. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Also, what did you think of Jan as a character?
Okay, Jan as a character, I'm going to be honest with you, I hated her at first. Didn't you, Austin? I hated her at first.
I liked her at first, but then as the seasons went on and when Michael actually starts dating her, I was like, oh, I fucking hate her.
Well, here's the thing. I don't really care about her character.
Oh, I don't either.
I just don't care about her because here's the thing. I thought she was fine at first, but then when they had the affair thing, I was like, okay, this could be interesting. This could be funny. And it was funny, the whole affair thing. But then I'm just seeing her like, do you remember the one episode where I forget if this was even in season 2 or season 3, where I think this was season 3 actually, where supposedly she made him dress up in a dress.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the episode where Michael took them to the mall and Michael I'm unhappy in my relationship.
Yeah. I hated her from that episode forward.
Yeah, she's just unlikable. I liked her okay in season 2, but then once season 3 I'm like, yeah, fuck this. But yeah, I would say overall sexual harassment was a very good episode, very funny, it's what you want.
Yes.
Now episode 3, Office Olympics. Now this episode introduced Carol, aka Michael's realtor of his condo, and also his first girlfriend that he gets in the office. Trust me, Michael's gets a couple in this show.
Yeah.
And actually Carol, I think, is played by Steve Carell's actual wife.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, I forget this episode.
So I'll basically give you the simple premise and you might remember it. So Michael is trying to get a condo, or like he's got to sign something for his condo. And we got LDG in the house. What's up, LDG? So Dwight goes with them to, I guess, basically to sign off on his condo. And so Jim, I believe, is in charge of the office. And and then they create the Office Olympics where they just play a bunch of games and then they made
I
the
remember
medals
this.
out of the yogurt tops.
Didn't the sex doll come in this episode also?
I think so.
You know that famous sex doll, the rubber one, and yeah, okay, I remember this. I remember. Very good episode. Not the best, but it's a very good episode.
I really liked it. Like, to me, season 2 was so strong, and just also I just like the Michael and Dwight stuff so much. Like, Michael and Dwight again is like another real, like, I guess I wouldn't necessarily
Great
go
friendship.
yeah, like, because you have Dwight who's the kiss ass and Michael's just like, dude, shut the fuck up sometimes. Or well, it's not really like that. It's more like Michael's annoyed by Dwight a little bit, and Dwight's just the is like the kiss ass who thinks he's the assistant to the regional manager, and it's funny stuff. And I think the Office Olympics part of it was also really nice. It really shows like just how like how they really were able to get the Office to just pass the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was very nice.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, I thought that episode and also at the end when Jim gives Michael the gold medal, I was like, that was cool. And then they did the national anthem where they were doing like the hands on their chest, and then they had a bunch of like paper birds in the background.
Yeah. Yep.
That was cool. Next up, episode 4, The Fire. So this episode was very iconic. Let me just start off with that. The joke Ryan starts the fire is a joke that's always going to be in the minds of the Office fans.
Yes.
And it's just an iconic episode. But so to give you all the simple premise of this one, so a fire starts in the office, not like the safety no, was it safety training? No, it was not safety training. It was stress relief episode in season 5. Yes. But it's so a fire starts because somebody was making something, and then it leads to it burning, or at least the office being on fire. Not in complete flames, but like it's to the point where they had to evacuate the building, and they're playing games, and so this is actually one of my favorite jokes too, is like they're playing who would you do in the office, and Jim's like, oh, I would definitely do Kevin.
Yeah.
And then Michael turns around, he's like, well, I would do Ryan. It's
exactly. That's what the Office is.
It's some funny shit. And then, Michael thought he lost his phone, and then Dwight ends up going in the burning building to find it.
Yep.
And then it turns out that Ryan was making a grilled cheese and then started the fire.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, hey, anything's possible in this show.
Oh, everything and anything is possible.
Yeah.
And this, I believe, was the episode where Jim says, oh yeah, by the way, I'm actually dating somebody. And then it turns out it's Amy Adams' character, which I'm gonna be completely honest with you too. Like, I think Kathy was kind of a forgettable character.
Oh, she was very forgettable because guess what? She just disappeared. Really, she just disappeared out of the show. She could have been, she could have stayed on.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, but nope. She left and never returned.
Oh, and also Roy in this episode, when they were playing that game, they said Roy said, oh, I would definitely do Angela. I was like, damn, like if your fiance is standing right next to you,
I would do Angela.
What the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
But overall, very, very good episode. Next up is the Halloween episode. So downsizing is actually a very important theme in the show, because guess what? Downsizing is basically the plot of not in every episode, but like there's always a plot in one episode every season about downsizing.
Yeah.
And this episode was fucking hysterical. So
Yeah.
Michael has to fire somebody. Michael's like, no, I don't want to fire anybody. And then they're like, no, Michael, you have to do it. And then Michael's like, no. And then so this is actually one of the most iconic scenes ever, was when Michael like is switching places with Jim, and he's like, and Jim's like, all right, you're fired. And then Michael's like, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
Like, I swear to God, it's funny shit. And then Michael ends up choosing Creed at first, and then Creed's like, no, let's fight it. Let's fight it, boss.
St. Patrick's dude or whatever.
Yeah, and then they fire the other guy, and then the other guy got pissed. And then, like, I think he, like, threw a pumpkin at Michael's car.
Yeah, and here's the thing. We don't know that guy for the rest of the show moving forward, because he was so forgettable. So...
it's very funny stuff.
Because do you even remember the guy's name?
No, I don't. But that's also because he's only in it for like one episode.
Yeah, but all the other characters we know, but not him. That's kind of just okay. Office, okay. You just introduced a random character out of nowhere, just for it to be fired. Okay.
So the next episode, the fight. So basically, it starts out with Michael and Dwight. They're trying to figure out who could beat each other in a fight. Dwight ends up punching Michael in the stomach.
Yeah.
And then this leads to Michael challenging Dwight to a fight, which then Michael wins. And then the two are just not getting along. This episode is fucking funny. Like, to me, when it comes to violence in this show, and it comes to Dwight, it's fucking upstanding.
Yes.
Like, when we get to season 3, there's like one moment in that season that makes me laugh all the time, is when Dwight pepper sprays Andy, when Andy's like,
oh, that is
back.
That is perfect. Like, legit. A lot of stuff happened, and it's like, man, The Office, like, I wish we got more of the stuff that we got from season 2 and 3 and like the later on seasons.
As far as like, if The Office is like Big Bang Theory, then I know I won't like it. No, it's not anything like Big Bang Theory.
It's not like Big Bang Theory. It's actually very funny. And here's the thing. The show is stupid. They know that the show is stupid, but they work with that.
Yeah. Like, there's no laugh tracks. There's no, like, audience. Like, it's just, like, a show where there's like, no laugh in the background. If that makes any sense.
That too. Big Bang Theory, oh my god. I don't like I like some episodes of the Big Bang Theory, but I hate the laughter, the fake laughter.
Actually, no, it is not. It actually is not fake laughter with the Big Bang Theory. It's actually a live studio audience.
You know what I mean.
Like, see, I actually don't mind a live studio audience, because then it gives it more of like, I guess it feels more organic in a way, rather than a laugh track. Because laugh tracks, I do not like.
Laugh tracks, I hate. Absolutely.
At least with a live studio audience, I can at least be like, oh, okay, like, it's actual laughter, where it's just canned laughter with laugh tracks.
Yep.
Which I'm actually glad that I would say I'd compare this to more of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because except this is more like of a documentary style comedy. Yeah, like, I would say it's more it's more in the style of Brooklyn Nine-Nine in a way.
Yeah.
But also back to The Office, though. I think this is the episode where Michael promotes Dwight to assistant regional manager.
Yes.
That was cool. But overall, yeah, another great episode. And now next up is The Client. This is where the Michael and Jan stuff finally gets a little bit more developed.
And I'm actually okay with their relationship at first. I'm actually okay.
I was okay with it too until about like late into season 3.
Yeah. Be right back.
Okay. So basically the premise of the episode is that Michael and Jan have to, I guess, sway a huge client, and then Michael, being Michael, actually does not talk about anything in the office related. Meanwhile, actually, this kind of ties back into later on in the show where they find Michael's screenplay of Operation Midnight. And you have the main character, Michael Scarn, and then they're all reading it. This actually turned into a full movie on YouTube. Like, please go watch that. It is a fucking funny ass. It's really bad. But that's the point, though. The movie is supposed to look so bad that it's so freaking amazing. Like, it is probably the greatest episode, or I guess the greatest film I ever watched. It's so short and it's so bad. It's just it's just great. And excuse me. Yeah, it's just a very, very good episode. Really, really good. Like, season 2 to me has like the greatest episodes, and it was so good. Like season 2, like season 3 and season 4 are like 3 of the best seasons of The Office, because I feel like it feels more like they were actually more like it was like going up, and then the later seasons start to go down a little bit. But usually in like a sitcom or like a comedy show, like seasons 2, 3, and 4 are usually when the show really hits its peak, and then afterwards it starts to slowly decline. Like with Friends, I would say with Friends, the last few seasons, like I wouldn't really say the last few seasons were bad, but they made a lot of really bad creative decisions. And then as it progressed, it was very there's just a lot wrong with the later seasons of Friends. Kind of like they were like Big Bang Theory and all of that. But overall though, it's just some very good stuff. You know, like, give me one quick minute. Sorry about that, guys. But when it comes to The Office, though, like when you look at like the best seasons of a comedy show, seasons 2, 3, and 4 are absolutely fantastic because none of the episodes are even bad. Like all the episodes are really good. Season 4, like I still say season 4 is my favorite season, but I will tell you right now though, it is freaking great. Like season 2, actually, now that I think about it, I might have to put season 2 on my no. I'll keep season 2 at my number 3. But it's a very good though. Uh, so I don't know if I should wait for Ninjoy to come back to finish up the episode. So I guess we can take questions while we're waiting. So how you guys been? Sorry about that, guys. As I was saying, it's I personally think The Office is great. I guess while we're waiting, I guess I can talk about or no, yeah, but we can finish up the episode. So Michael and Jan end up getting the client.
Yes.
After Michael's absurdity at Chili's.
Yep.
And then Michael and Jan kiss. I also talked a little bit about this, but there was also a part in the episode where everybody was reading Michael's script for Operation Midnight.
Yep.
Oh no, it's Operation Threat Level Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that part of the episode was so good. It was so like they were reading it, and Dwight's like, "No, I won't allow it." And then next thing you know, Dwight, and then meanwhile Jim's like, "You can have the lead role." And then Dwight starts reading it. Oh, it's really, really funny.
Mm-hmm.
I would say overall, like as I said beforehand, like season 2 to me had no bad episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like compared to season 1, I felt like season 1 had like not that great episodes, where I feel like season 2 had some of the best episodes.
Yeah.
But overall, though, like very good episode again. Next up is performance review. So again, this is kind of tying into the previous episode. So Michael slept with Jan, and obviously that's a big no-no. And Jan's like, "Look, it was a mistake." And then Michael's being Michael, and he's like asking all the employees, because again, like he's more worried about the stuff with Jan and all that. Like he forgot a whole lot about the performance reviews.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah,
some great stuff. And it's actually, and then Michael tells everybody about it with Jan, and then Jan gets upset, and then they kind of break up, but at the same, like, it's not really a breakup. It's more like, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so next one, I actually want to go into this episode a little bit more. Email surveillance.
Okay, this episode, I think this is one of the weaker ones of this season.
Really? I would actually say it's one of the stronger ones.
I need to remember this. So, yes, Michael stumbles upon an invitation to Jim. Jim basically invites everyone else to his house.
But I think
I remember that, but I'm trying to.
This was also the episode where Michael had the improv class, and he's like, "Hell, then Michael's scarred."
Okay.
And then I really like the ending of the episode where like Michael was singing on the karaoke machine alone, and then it was actually like a duet song, and then Jim comes in and actually sings with them. I was like, okay, that was cool.
Yeah.
Because I do think that them not inviting Michael, like I get why, but at the same time, I'm like, you feel bad for him. It's like, because Michael is such a likable character. Also, this episode does end up starting the Angela and Dwight relationship.
Yep.
Which the Angela and Dwight stuff are really my favorite things in season 9, and I would even say it's one of my favorite arcs in season 5.
Yeah.
And 4, like the whole arc with Angela and Dwight is always really entertaining.
It is very entertaining because you don't know where it's gonna go entirely.
And I'm very glad that Angela and Dwight get together at the end of the show.
Yep. Same.
And they probably would have still stayed together if Dwight just didn't kill Sprinkles.
Yeah, but you know what? It was kind of predictable that he was going to kill Sprinkles.
Yeah, but it was still funny though.
Yeah.
Now, next up is the Christmas episode, where
Then we get this trend for all the other seasons moving forward.
Yes, we then get Christmas episodes, and I believe we also get Halloween episodes.
Yes, so this season is very important for the future of The Office as a whole.
So the basic plot is Michael bought an iPod for Ryan, which was like a couple $100.
Yeah.
And he wasn't supposed to spend a couple $100, mind you. So then when he gets a pair of gloves from Phyllis, he basically is like, all right, we're gonna do like a switch thing. And
we're
then
gonna do swap gifts basically randomly. And basically Jim has this teapot of all of this important stuff that really Pam laughed at or enjoyed, and he even wrote a letter in which we don't know what the letter actually is till the second to last episode of the series.
And that was some very good stuff.
Yes.
Indeed. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab my computer charger. You can talk a little bit more about the episode, or if you want to go into the next one, if you want.
All right. No, I have a lot to say with the Christmas special.
Okay.
All right. So basically, guys, with the Christmas special, Jim is also he's beginning to plan the perfect Secret Santa gift for Pam, which I just went into that. And you know, this just goes to show that Michael has to be Santa Claus and no one else. Now, I'm saying that because in the future, someone else wants to be Santa Claus, and Michael is like, no way, Jose, basically. Because number one, Michael is the only Santa Claus here. All right, we all know that. So let's go to the episode 11, known as Boozy Cruise, and basically this episode is where Michael takes everyone out on a cruise, and in this episode, basically Michael is like, well, I'm in charge here. And the ship captain is like, no, I'm in charge here. They have to listen to me, and we're not going to have fun. And basically, I'm pretty sure Dwight, they made Dwight basically drive the ship, but not really. It was just a fake steering wheel. So, ha ha ha, very funny with that. Michael was tied up in this episode. As well as there were lots of character development moments. And then Roy and Pam, they officially make it announced that, yes, Roy is going to marry Pam. Because now the wedding date is officially announced, basically. So very key, important stuff here, because actually Jim and Pam's relationship has been very good. And then here we go with the conflict that Roy is like, you know what? That ship captain's right. I need to do this now. I need to do this. Enough is enough. 5 years, that's enough. So then he tells Pam, and yeah, bam. Yay! Well, Jim is just Mr. Depressed. And same thing with Michael. Michael is also depressed as well because, number one, he's supposed to be the leader, not the ship captain. It was pretty funny, though. And then Dwight was just basically steering the ship, even though he was not actually steering the ship. It's just fake steering wheel, like I already said before. So, yeah, very funny episode. I think this is actually one of the stronger episodes just because of how funny it was. So, yeah. All right. Episode 12, the injury, guys. Okay, so basically Michael burned his foot while cooking bacon. Yeah, don't ask, like Michael can do anything. So basically, Michael burns his foot on a George Foreman grill and demands that his staff caters to his every will, basically treat him like a king.
Oh, this episode was good. So,
Yes.
so Dwight gets a concussion from running his car into a pole trying to get Michael, and then somehow he manages to drive all the way over there.
Yeah.
And then, like, as the episode goes on, like, when Dwight says something, like, he forgets about it, and then when he raises his hand, like, he doesn't, like, his hand's still up, like, he doesn't say anything, and then Jim's like, oh, I think he might have a concussion, and then Pam's like, yeah, you should probably take him, and then Michael's like, yeah, I should go too, because my foot, because again, they mixed, I think, ibuprofen into his pudding, and so they're going to the hospital, and Jim's like spraying Dwight with the water bottle, like he's just like with the spray bottle. He's like, no, no. He's like, get up, and Dwight's like, no, I don't want to get up. And then I actually like the Pam and Dwight stuff was actually kind of nice. Like that's another friendship that I feel like is kind of underappreciated in a way with Dwight and Pam, because Dwight and Pam's friendship is very unique because Dwight and Jim don't like each other. Like I wouldn't say they don't like each other, but it's more like frenemies. Where I think with Pam, like I think Dwight's more of like a friend. So I like the stuff where Dwight was was joking around with her, and even like saying like, and he threw the iPod in the protective case just to show her that it didn't break. And even in later seasons, like in season 3, like Dwight is awesome with Pam. Like just the friendships with like Dwight, even like yeah, Dwight doesn't like everybody in the office, but this was one of those examples where I think Dwight actually cared for Pam. Even though he was concussed, it's in later seasons that he does end up really caring for Pam like as a friend. And I like that to me is like one of my favorite parts about a sitcom or like a comedy show or like The Office is like character development. And every character develops, and like I feel like with arcs, every character goes through an arc at some point, and
Yeah.
it's just great. So I mean, I think we're done talking about the injury. Now it's the secret where Michael nearly reveals that Jim is in love with Pam, and this is also the episode where Oscar faked being sick, and then Dwight's like, "Oh no, no, no! I'm gonna figure this out." And then it's revealed in the episode that Oscar is actually I don't know like what the correct term to say it. Oscar is Ninja. You want to say it for me?
I'm trying to remember what was here.
I don't know how to say it without offending anybody. So if I offend people, I apologize. It's revealed that Oscar is a homosexual. I'll just say it like that. Which that's like a character trait that Oscar has. And so instead of Dwight saying, "Oh my God," he's no. He's just like Dwight's more like he faked being sick. Like he's more upset about him like fake like that. That was awesome. I was like, oh my God, man's freaking awesome. I love that stuff. When he's being like this complete utter like fucking asshole. But I really like the overall and I like that this continues to develop the Jim and Pam stuff. Not Jam, sorry. But I really think that this episode again continues to develop that awkwardness in a way, and Jim having to be this I guess like lying to Pam again, to me that's very very good development. So next up is the carpet. So Michael, I don't know how to say it, but Michael is basically someone basically shits on his rug, and he has to sit at the desk. So he has to sit at Jim's desk because it smells like shit. So Jim's now sitting where Kelly is, and Kelly, let me tell you, is my least favorite character because she is annoying as fuck. Like, when I mean she's annoying, she is annoying as fuck. So this is also where Kelly wants Jim to set her up with Ryan, and oh my god, it's it's so much incredible stuff. But it's just really funny stuff. And so Michael is getting pissed because he's like, I think someone in the office shat on my rug. And then, he had to call Ed Truck, and because he's like, these guys shat on my rug. And then Ed Truck's like, you don't need your employees to be your friends, Michael. And Michael's like, no, fuck you. That's not how it works. And then it's revealed that Todd Packer, that motherfucker, actually was the one that shat on the rug. Some good stuff. So the next episode is Boys and Girls. Boys and Girls is basically the episode where Jan is leading the seminar for the women, and Michael got upset, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna have a men's one," and that so Michael's decides to make a men's seminar, and so then while that's happening, Roy and Jim, have their little confrontation. He's like, no, we good because it happened a long time ago. Daryl. So Michael's causing shenanigans, which Michael then drives a forklift. The fucking dude, and then he causes this mess, and then he gets pissed, and then the workers then form a union because Michael's being a dick, and then so Michael is just upset. So while this is happening, Pam wants to do this thing with graphic design, and then Roy basically says, "No, fuck, no, you cannot, you don't, no, you shouldn't do it." And then Jim fucking tells Pam "Oh, you should do it," and then Pam's like, "No," and then that causes kind of some frustration there. It was it was good. So it's really good stuff. So there's a Valentine's Day episode as well. The Valentine's Day episode is great too. So Michael has to attend a meeting. David Wallace, the greatest character of all time, who has to put up with all this bullshit. So Michael basically says that, or I guess he talks about how, or he tells the other managers that he dated Jan, and so then there's a lot of people who insinuated that that Jan is giving Michael preferential treatment, and then David got upset, and then it's revealed then Michael has to say that was a bad joke. And then that was basically it for that subplot. And so in the office, everybody's getting their gifts. Angela, who's dating Dwight, gives Dwight his bobblehead, which the bobblehead is iconic and awesome. Best character of the show. Phyllis gets a bunch of flowers from Bob Vance. And Roy It doesn't give Pam anything except for the fact that she was going to give her the best sex she's ever had. And Jim, who has to listen to Kelly because she's then starting to date Ryan. And it's so she's being annoying. And then so Ryan got upset and he's like, oh, fuck. You know, it was before Valentine's Day. And then I liked how the episode ends, though, with Jim telling Pam Happy Valentine's Day. And then it just ends with, like, Pam looking at him. And it's like, oh, I really like that stuff. Yes, the Dwight speech episode. Okay, so the Dwight speech episode is great. So basically, Dwight is nervous about doing this speech. And then, so Jim gives him like, I guess as a prank. He's like, he's like giving him tips based off speeches from Mussolini, and he's giving him tips from from Mussolini, where like he was like he's like banging the hands on the table. If I couldn't get copyrighted, I would show that clip because it's really funny. It's so good. And so they go to the speech, and then they're like, and then Dwight does his like speech, but then it turns out it was really good. It actually wins. It gives it wins over the crowd, and it's surprising. Like the prank kind of turns around on him, and so Pam is writing invitations, and Jim does say he's not. He's going to take a vacation during the wedding. And I actually kind of like this part because, again, it really develops the character. And it really develops that whole romance plot of Jim and Pam. And, yeah, overall, like, this episode was, again, very good. Had no problem with it. You know, this was, again, like, to me, I like that they continue to develop the Jim and Pam stuff. It's really good. Take your daughter to work day. So this was this really really good stuff. So basically, it's take your daughter to work day, and so let me start off by saying like so basically it's like they're taking their kids to work. Michael, you know, is upset, and then so this is actually one of my favorite jokes of the episode where Stanley got really upset at Ryan because his daughter was going on to Ryan, and Kelly was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, Ryan's really interested in your daughter," and then he's like, "Boyd, you lost your mind. I'll help you find it." That was some really entertaining stuff. And I do kind of, and so Dwight's reading this fucking book, and so, so Michael actually shows this, I guess, like a video of him on an appearance on a kid's show. And this scene made me like, it's like kind of like uncomfortable. Like Michael's like, I want to get married and have 100 kids so I can have 100 friends and no one can say no to be my friend. I was like, oh God, that's uncomfortable. That was just like, and then he started doing online dating, and so his username, I shit you not, is little I. It's really I don't know how to say it without being like, again, to offend anybody, but it's fucking little kid lover. Michael's username was little kid lover. I am not fucking joking. It's Oh man, it was really. And then Dwight, Jake was being an asshole to Dwight, and then no, I believe it was Meredith's kid. He was insulting Dwight, and then Dwight gets upset. He finally gives him a child. He gives him an insult, and that was awesome. And then so Pam ends up, because that's also another plot line, is Pam is trying to, I guess, I guess, I don't know, like befriends a kid, and then it turns out like she ends up befriending Jake, which is Meredith's son, and with the paper shredder, with some really funny stuff. Next up is Michael's birthday. So basically, the plot of the episode: Michael wants to celebrate his birthday, but it turns out Kevin might have skin cancer. It's again another dark, depressing episode. So this was kind of dark, depressing, but at the same time, Michael was being a dick. So they go to ice skating. So it's so Jim and Pam are buying gifts for Kevin, and so they end up getting him gifts. And then so Kevin's worried about getting his test, and it's coming in positive. And I just so they go to the ice skating rink, and then he sees Carol, which I guess kind of starts their relationship in a sense. And then Kevin finally it's revealed that it's actually negative, and it's actually really, really good. It was just, man, it's like I love the comedy, but at the same time, it's like it's just a very well done episode. Next thing. Oh, so now we're at the last 3 episodes is drug testing, and I really like this. So basically, Dwight finds a joint in the parking lot, and Dwight is trying to investigate this, and Jim's like the scariest thing than actually doing drugs is Dwight finding out having drugs, which is basically what he said. And so Michael, that it's revealed that Michael might have smoked a clove cigarette. So then he's like asking Dwight for a cup of his urine, which Dwight's like, no, no, and then Michael's like forcing him into it. So while this is all happening, and also Jim and Pam say, so there's like this jinx thing where Pam does a jinx to Jim, and Jim can't talk and until he buys her a Coke. And so basically Jim does hold up by the end of the jinx because like there's no Coke in the vending machine. So when Pam says he could tell me anything, he gives her like this look that makes you uncomfortable. And also it's very good. Like I like the storytelling here because Jim wants to say it's so bad but he can't, which is kind of like the thing of his character. And also Dwight ends up giving Michael his urine, and he ends up having to turn in his badge because he was a sheriff, because he's a volunteer sheriff deputy. So he turns in his badge, but then Michael gives Dwight honorary security advisor, which then that ends up being the end of that, which I thought that was really nice. So basically, conflict resolution is the second to last episode of the show. Basically, it's Michael trying to, I guess, resolve a lot of conflicts, and so Jim and Pam are. So I don't know how to say it. So like there's all these conflicts, and Michael's trying to solve it. Like Oscar is like complaining about Angela, and then there's other people complaining about the other, and then so Jim does the prank on Dwight, obviously, and it's Monster's like, I hate Big Bang Theory. The lead actor is so annoying. We're not. I don't think we're talking about Big Bang Theory. We're talking about The Office. But so all this is happening. Jim does the prank on Dwight by changing his middle name to Fart on his security thing, and he gives him like this huge ID that basically would label Dwight as a security threat. And that so Dwight finally gets upset, and Michael reads all of his pranks on Dwight, and Dwight's like, and then Jim starts to regret it, and then he's like, "Oh man, these don't sound as good." And then so Dwight gets upset, and he's like, "Yeah, so you have to fire Jim or me by the end of the day," because he was so upset. And overall, and he says that he and then Michael sees what happens, and then he's like, okay, this shit's not happening at all. So he's like, all right, I fucked up. And then meanwhile, it's still tense. And so, and during the whole, like, because at the end, Michael wants to take a group picture, everybody's upset. And then during the whole thing, Jim does tell Pam that he was the one that complained about her wedding planning, and then it's actually revealed that Jim wants to get transferred to another job, or he wants to get transferred to Stanford, which that actually comes into play in season 3. I don't know where Ninjoid is because I just went through all the entire episodes. Because now we're at the last episode, Casino Night, which is the season finale of the second season. So basically, Michael is organizing this casino event because he wants to do this for charity, and he wanted to do it for like the Girl Scouts or the Boy Scouts, I think. And then Toby's like, actually, I don't think that's a good idea because Hooters just catering, and then we get all this other things. And Michael says, "Why are you the way that you are? I hate everything you stand for." Like that was awesome. I loved it. And so Michael, asked Carol to come, and then Carol's like, I don't know. And then he's like, he asked Jan to go, and Jan's like, maybe. And then, and then Jan and Carol end up going, and then it becomes very awkward. And so Jim and Pam are going through the audition tapes, and it's revealed that Kevin actually has his own band. He does have his own band. Oh man, it's such a so the band's actually called Scrantonicity. That's what the band is called. And so as this is going on, during casino night, Dwight is winning, these winning games. Like everybody's making things for charity, and that he wants, and Jim is like that he wants to be transferred. And basically, because Jim feels like in a way there's nothing for him here, and so Jim finally tells Pam how he feels about her, and then Pam basically, I guess, is like, "Hey, I'm in love with you," and then Pam's like, "No, I can't because I'm getting married," and Jim, kisses her, and that's how the show ended, or at the season ended. I would say overall, like I want Ninjoid here to talk about our final thoughts. I guess while I'm waiting, I guess I can give my final thoughts. I think the season as a whole was very good. I think the development between Pam and Jim's relationship was excellent, and I think overall very, very good. There is not like, to me, season 2 to me is like one of the better seasons of the show, and it's overall overall, I just think season 2. I'm actually gonna give season 2 do I want to give it a 9? Actually, yeah, because season 3 and season 4 also. I'm gonna give season 2 a 9. I think this season was just, to me, very, very good. I like the development of Jim and Pam, and overall, just a very, very good show. Or a very good season. I definitely recommend it. Now I'm just waiting for Ninjoid to come back. I don't know where he is. Ninjoid, you there? Yeah, he's been gone a while. I don't know where he is. Because I do kind of want to end this before this is where we are, 1:20. I want to try to end it at 1:30 or 1 hour and 30 minutes. So it's but yeah, I guess I could talk with you guys in the chat. What's going on, guys? EJ's doing his tribute videos for Anakin and Vader at Scarlet Witch. That's cool. Very cool. Yeah, not a lot of people are fans of The Office, I see. Damn, I definitely recommend it, guys. It's a very good show. Really good. So yeah, it's a very good show. Ninjoid, where are you? Uh, I don't know where Ninjoid is. Yeah, he's just gone. So how you all doing tonight? Sorry if it's a little awkward a bit. I'm just waiting on Ninjoid. He's still silent. But yeah, overall, some interesting stuff. Off season 2, I gave my final thoughts. It's a good show. Sorry for being quiet. Still waiting on Android here, guys. I apologize. Because we're an hour and 20 minutes in. I would like to try to end at an hour and 30 minutes. Shoot. You guys could talk in chat, guys. What? I don't know. No, Sour's not active. Shoot. I'm probably gonna end it here. No, I'm not gonna end it here. Yeah, he's been gone a while. Sorry, guys. I didn't think this would happen. I mean, I don't want to end it yet, but if he's not here, I mean, I might have to, because I went a little too long. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Ninjoid, if you can hear me, can you hurry back, please, so we can end this, please, please. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the chat for a little bit because I just finished the entire season 2 review, and it yeah, just still waiting a little bit. So how y'all doing? I know I said this beforehand, but how y'all doing? Just sitting here waiting. It's been going a while. Drinking water because you gotta stay hydrated.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Good.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
I basically went through the rest of the season.
Yeah, sorry, I was a little bit busy.
It's fine.
Okay. So overall, my thoughts, I love season 2. But here's the thing. We missed a lot in between season 2 and 3, which I thought they should have played out in the actual show.
I don't know if I would necessarily say they missed out on everything because you kind of know everything that happens in between.
Yeah.
Like Jim going to Stanford, like that stuff, like you already knew going into it that Jim was going to Stanford in season 3, and
Yeah.
they kind of resolved the Pam and Jim plotline for that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just as a whole, I think season 2, like in season 3, kind of go together very nicely.
Yes.
Which is why I'm very excited to review season 3, because season 3 is finally where the Jim and Pam stuff finally comes to a head, and
Yes.
we finally introduce new characters like Andy and
Andy's great, guys.
Karen. But overall, what is your final grade for season 2?
My final grade for season 2 would be probably a 9.
Because I'm with you. I'm going with a 9 as well. I think 9. There is no bad episode. I think season 2 is probably one of the best seasons of the show. Like season 2 is still like top 3. Season 2, season 3, season 4 are like the best seasons of The Office.
Like, here's the thing with season 3. I thought they paid a little bit too much attention to the New York branch at first in the beginning of the season, but then it got better as it went. To me, in season 3, I still enjoyed it, but
I actually really like the New York stuff because it was nice to get out of Scranton for a little bit.
Yeah, you're right.
And it was a nice little change of pace, and we got to see all these other characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I just overall like season 2 and season 3, they bridge together very nicely.
Yeah.
And it's just overall very, very good.
Yeah.
So I think this is where we're gonna wrap it up.
Oh, hang on a minute. I'm actually going to say my favorite episode first.
Oh yeah. Yes, we forgot to do that.
So, my favorite episode of season 2. Here, wait. I got to look at all the season 2 episodes. Okay. I really did like the one. Shoot. Yes. Boozy Cruise.
You mean Booze Cruise?
Yes, Booze Cruise. Sorry, my bad. I really did enjoy
Boozy
that
Cruise.
episode. Yes, Boozy Cruise.
I've never heard anybody say Boozy Cruise.
Also, Dwight's speech. That episode was god tier.
Dude, I said like Dwight's speech was awesome.
Yes, and Michael's birthday was another good one. Take your daughter to work day was also fun. Yeah, like casino night was also good as well.
I really like the injury.
Injury, yes. I also like the injury a lot too.
Dude, season 2 had like so many really good episodes.
Boys and girls too. Was
When
perfect.
when Michael used the forklift.
Yep.
And then that causes the entire warehouse to go on a strike and unionize.
Yep. Yep.
I was like, my God. Like, season
Mhm.
2 had like no bad episodes. The fire as well.
Yep. See, just so many great episodes. Just
Like,
season 5 has great episodes.
I would say season 5 has great episodes, but I didn't like season 5 as a whole.
No, but it does have some of the best Office episodes.
And we will get to those episodes when we do talk about season 5.
Yep.
And I can't wait to talk about the later seasons because I do have a lot to say, both good and bad.
Yeah.
Like, I think once you get past season 5, like, even though I think season 5 isn't necessarily better than 4, I thought 5 was still a really good season.
Yeah.
But then once you get to season 6 and onward is when there's going to be a lot more good and bad rather than just a lot of good.
And that's where I agree with at least 7 and up.
The thing is, I like 7 more than 6.
Oh, really? Huh.
Because season 6 to me is like, season 6 was okay. Season 7 had that Michael, like Goodbye Michael episode, and it had the song they sang during the Michael Scott episode, or when they sang the song.
Yeah.
It was a very, very emotional. It was just a very emotional like arc with Michael leaving, and overall, it's just I prefer season 7 over season 6. Also, there's a lot more memorable stuff in season 7.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I want to thank everybody who came in the chat tonight or today. Monster Paradise, EJ, Emma, Kavari, LDG, Deshaun. Thank you guys for coming in. I'm gonna let. I also want to thank Ninjoid for coming on and talking The Office. Next episode, we're definitely gonna have a little bit more of a idea of what we're doing because this was more like the test episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know what format you liked better. Did you like when we were not going through every episode, or do you think the every episode thing was nice?
Here's the thing. I don't remember every single episode. All right. But yeah, we can go through all the episodes if you want. It's your show.
Well, I'll figure something out.
You know, it's like there's just too many episodes, in my opinion, to technically say.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess
I guess
we could just like talk about like the arcs and like the basic stuff.
Yeah, because here's the thing. It's not like, oh yeah, we have a 10 episode season where we mostly know every single episode, but
I think we'll just I think what we'll do is we'll just do like the subplots.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk like the major characters.
We can still do the best episode. Just not go by all the ups,
Yeah, we can do that. So we'll do that for next episode. I'm gonna let Ninjoy tell everybody where they can find him one more time, and then I'll do my thing.
Yep. You guys can find me at Ninjoy243 on YouTube, also on Twitter. But on my YouTube channel, we are doing Galactic Chat, the season finale of Mandalorian. We will be reviewing this upcoming Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure that you go check that out. Also, make sure that you check out my Marvel and DC show, Superhero Talk Hour, on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where we will be basically talking about the new Marvel announcements and also talking which future is brighter, Marvel or DC, as well as we will be having our Riverdale Season 1 review on either this upcoming Saturday or Sunday. Yeah.
You guys can find me on Twitter at theosinator17. If you ever want to hit me up and message me, do that there. Also, you can find me on Discord as well. If you don't have Twitter, that's A-OK. You can message me on Discord too. Also, I have a YouTube channel where I am at 94 subscribers. I'm 6 away from 100, so I can hit 100 for a second time. I'm going back to a normal schedule this week. Sundays, I do ShadowEye, where next week we're going to be reviewing The Office Season 3. This upcoming Thursday is Splash Talk, where we'll be reading Harry Potter fan fiction. And then Friday or Saturday will be good old wrestling, where me and Deshaun will be reviewing NXT TakeOver War Games and Survivor Series. So go check those out. And also I'll be doing God of War streams throughout the week. Sometimes on Sundays, you can find me on the Real Review 3000 Chris Knight's channel, where sometimes I'm part of the weekly wrap up and/or the Mandalorian Roundtable. Also, you can sometimes find me there as part of the weekly Rumble. And on Mondays, you can sometimes find me on JJ, aka Sith Lord 3827's channel, where I'm sometimes part of Randomness at its finest. You can also find me backstage sometimes on LDG Pixel's Pixelate channel. I put all their channels there in the description. I also put Big Afford Entertainment, aka Anzo's channel, where we do where sometimes I'm part of like their gaming streams and watch Anzo and JJ, duke it out, and now LDG's in the mix, which I might be rematching Anzo soon with Mortal Kombat, so keep an eye out for that. Also in the description I put 2 new channels, Poe and the Big O Show. Let's get them up to 50 subscribers if possible. And that, I think, about does it.
Yep.
Kavar says, hey guys, do you see the official cheetah picture? Emma says, to be honest, Cheetah looks bad.
No, she doesn't.
I mean, I'll give a quick little review of it because we are wrapping it up. Yeah, I know, Kavar. Yeah, I'm not gonna give like my full Alan thoughts because this episode really was not supposed to be about DC talk or superheroes, but I'll give like a quick thing. It looks fine. Like, it doesn't look amazing, but it looks good.
Alright.
But yeah, that about does it though, guys. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back Thursday, or actually no, I'll be back Tuesday on this channel with God of War. But the next StreamYard stream won't be until Thursday. So thank you guys for watching. This is the Osinator and Ninjoid signing out.
Peace out, guys.
See you later, guys.